Now, Nigeria's debt service and payments have surged by 69% in the first half of 2024, reaching 6.04 trillion naira, up from 3.58 trillion naira recorded in the same period last year. Now, the sharp rise in debt service obligations, likely driven by naira devaluation for foreign debt repayments, reflects the growing burden on the federal government as debt repayment consumes a significant portion of its financial resources. Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Olayemi Cardoso, asserts that the implementation of the electronic foreign exchange matching system by the Apex Bank demonstrates the financial regulator's commitment to equitable and effective markets. Cardoso gave a speech over the weekend to the Lagos chapter of the Harvard Club of Nigeria, where the FX matching scheme was introduced by the Apex Bank on October 3rd. During his speech, Cardoso restated the CBN's intention to improve monitoring of the foreign exchange operations and increase transparency. Now, beginning on October 1st, 2024, the Nigerian federal government formally stated that it will start selling crude oil to the Dangote refinery and other regional refineries in Naira. Initial Federal Executive Council approval for crude oil sales to the 650,000 barrels per day refinery was granted in July, with its month's transaction scheduled to start. As of October 1st, the government has started selling crude oil to nearby refineries in Naira, as announced by a post on the ministry's official X account. Now, Arise business analyst Chika Mbonu joins me to discuss this and a bit more. Mr. Chika, good morning to you. How are you today?
Morning. How are you today,
Very
Abby?
well, thank you. Very well, thanks.
Yeah.
Well, let's begin with the long-awaited sales of crude oil to refineries in Naira.
Well, I can confirm authoritatively that even though it was supposed to start on October 1st, it hasn't happened. It hasn't started yet. I know that the Minister for Finance, the coordinating Minister for Economy, who has thrown his all into making this happen for the obvious advantages for the big, larger economy, has been pushing this, but it hasn't happened yet. But I have a confirmation that by most likely, before the week runs out, that maybe it will take off. And basically, crude oil will be sold to the Nigerian companies who are refining petroleum at Naira rates. And then, of course, if the Naira rate, if the input is Naira rate, it means also that your output will be Naira. And that, removes the element of, remove the price today because of foreign exchange and stuff like that. And I remember I said in this program a long time ago that the ultimate price at the pump, or ultimate price that the refinery will sell, will be the input price for the crude oil they buy, plus the processing cost in the refinery, plus their margin. That will be the ultimate price. So for the Nigerian public, the worry, concern will be at what price will the refinery be buying the crude oil, even though it's being sold in Naira this time, and settlement will be in Naira. So for the country, this is a major transformation. It will provide stability in supply and certainty in supply, and then remove the vagaries of exchange rate in the end price. Now, I'm not saying, and let me put it out there, every Nigerian hopes and believes and thinks, or most Nigerians believe and hope and think that once petrol is being manufactured in Nigeria, it must be at almost like 1 naira per liter. That may not happen consistently, but I believe that there'll be some moderation in the price at the end of the day. And there's also news that is out there now saying that NNPC has ceased to be the sole buyer from Dangote refinery. Well, that will not confirmed yet. But what it means is that if NNPC exists as the sole buyer from Dangote refinery, it means that everybody is free to go to the refinery under the deregulatory regime to buy on a willing buyer, willing seller methodology, and you can go back to your filling station and sell the way you want. Basically, the issue of the regulation comes on stream into PMS, and then we can have a market-determined price, which is what the Petroleum Industry Act actually suggests or recommends.
Right, which isn't the case right now for the benefit of our viewers. But is there any insight as to the delay? Why do we have a stall? And the reason I ask is, we speak quite constantly about announcements and implementation. So do we have any insights as to why?
I guess there's a lot of logistic arrangements required to do this. There are also a lot of parties. The NUPRC is there. the Nigerian NNPC is there, the Ministry of Finance is there, and then of course the Dangote and other references are there. So I guess the all required to do that, implement it is the issue. But I'm told that it's a timing thing, that it will happen before the week runs out.
All right,
Yeah.
we watch, we wait and see. Well, let's look next. The CBN governor's points around the electronic FX matching system.
Basically, what that system is pushing toward is to ensure transparency and total reporting in the FX market. Basically, working with Bloomberg, they get what they call a B match. A B match talks about the fact that every player in the FX market in Nigeria, especially including the banks, will every demand of FX that you have to put it into that system. So Abby wants to buy $100,000 for her factory, you put it there, and the rate that you want to buy. And then I have $1 million to sell. I also put it into that system. So unlike before, where the human intervention determines whether I will sell to Abby or not, what happens now? The system automatically looks at the rate I want to sell, $1 million, and look for those who are willing to, that match my own rate with their own rate that they want to buy transparently. So in that way, the market becomes more open, and for central bank also the ease of reporting. It doesn't remove the risk of settlement. So once that is matched, the banks can go away and then do the settlement. Give me a Naira, take your dollars and stuff like that. But it helps to bring all the requests into the market, all the supply into the market. And then the backside of the arbitrage between sellers and buyers will be removed. Because now there may be through price to discovery, really. So if there's any price that you hold back before in your pocket and you don't declare, you'll be forced to declare everything now, because you're going to put up there, I want to sell my dollars at this rate. And someone will say, I want to buy at this rate, and then the match will be done. So for central bank, it helps in really price discovery, and then transparency, price recovery, and then of course reporting for them. It doesn't remove the issue of risks for the banks.
Right. I mean, transparency, I like that you mentioned that, because, there was even the CBN government also alluded to the disparity between the parallel and official rates and, arbitrage and speculation. So transparency and trust is really key right now. Well, let's go next to Nigeria's debt servicing payments rising by 69%.
Abby, what is new there? There's nothing new there. There's nothing new there. We've spoken about that for a long time. That it ballooned again has to, you see, the exchange rate thing has a two-edged sword, as I say, in the sense that, look at it this way. If the earnings come in dollars, remember what happened? The revenues go higher. State governments, therefore, and FAC allocation got bigger because the rate of translation got higher. So on a revenue basis, people got more revenues, and that's why you saw the ballooning in the FAC allocation to states and local governments. The figures just got much bigger. So that's one positive side. The other one is that if you're owing in dollars, the rest now to translate your debt is higher, and that's what happened. So the servicing, debt servicing got very higher. But the issues there, they say who goes borrowing goes as sorrowing, for the country. The bad news there include the fact that the revenue for the government is about just 3.something trillion. The debt's about almost 170% higher than our revenues. I mean, what it means is that we're borrowing to service our loans. We're borrowing. Our revenues are not covering our debts servicing. So we're borrowing to service our debts. So that's a bad thing for our country. It means that anytime you're not able to borrow, you default in the debt payment. For corporations, that's a bad one. But I'm sure Nigeria, people are going to give us money. So it becomes a vicious cycle.
I like your optimism, but, it's a precarious situation to be in. I mean, if we look at the spike between last year and now, highlights the country's fiscal vulnerability. So, we watch and see, but not a good place to be. Not a good place. All right. Arise, business analyst Mbonu. We've run out of time. We'll have to see you again tomorrow and carry on.